Guess who got pregnant on her first try? But wait, you might be wondering how I did this so easily, especially considering I'm already pretty old. Well, stay tuned because in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how I did it. I set out to get pregnant with my first child at 34 years old. And it worked! I'll be almost 35 when I give birth, meaning this pregnancy is just a few weeks shy of being geriatric or an advanced maternal age birth. The chances of me getting pregnant at this ripe old age without significant medical intervention were 52%. And there's only a 15% chance of getting pregnant in your first month of trying. And that's just the first step of actually getting pregnant. The idea, of course, is to carry my baby to term, but 20 to 30% of pregnancies at my age end in miscarriage. So the fact that I got pregnant on my first try and made it to the second trimester with no issues at all is not an accident. In fact, it was very intentional, and I did it with a manifestation. Now, I do want to give a brief disclaimer. If you are struggling with fertility issues, this could be the best or worst video you could possibly watch. If you find yourself getting upset by others' success, and if you get very defensive and shut down when people offer information on how to have a successful pregnancy, this video is not for you at this time. In fact, I don't recommend trying to conceive from that mindset, since that level of stress and resistance makes conception even more challenging. In my opinion, it's better to seek professional guidance from a therapist and heal from that painful reactivity first. And you certainly deserve that additional help. But if you're watching this video and you feel sincerely ready to take in new information that could quite literally change the rest of your life, then this video is for you. I'm here to share some of the secrets that I learned of how to manifest a healthy pregnancy easily at any age. This is a beautiful life experience that should be stress-free, exciting, and full of so much love. So keep watching to the end to get all my best tips and tricks to start or expand your family. It might sound crazy, but getting pregnant really can be easy at any age, even if you've had trouble conceiving in the past. And I truly believe it has a lot more to do with mindset than medicine. And I say this as someone who didn't think they could ever get pregnant. I have been in countless situations when I was younger and more fertile where I was careless, and statistically speaking, I really should have found myself with an unplanned pregnancy. Even when you have technically perfect, safe intimacy practices, with the methods I was using, the chances of conceiving accidentally were still 2 to 12%. And I just assumed I really couldn't get pregnant because my mom had a lot of difficulty conceiving me. and some fertility issues are hereditary. Even my husband had some fertility troubles in the past. It seemed the odds were stacked against us. Now, it would have been really easy to just focus on those discouraging statistics and delve into worry and feel hopeless about our chances of having a baby, especially without IVF. But to be quite honest, I never really worried about that much. And that's part of why this manifestation was so easy for me. Instead of putting my focus on what could go wrong, I gave all my attention to a reality where my husband and I conceived our first child on our first try. I literally planned the day that I would get pregnant and mapped out my pregnancy from there. I wanted to wait until after my birthday so that I could have a drink or two just to celebrate. And I prepared for that conception date as if it was certain. I stopped mostly drinking alcohol a couple of months before my planned date. I started taking prenatals. I got down to my healthiest weight. And I wanted to fit in some horseback riding and roller coasters before my conception date, but that didn't quite work out for me. I told friends and family that I was going to be pregnant soon and that I would be pregnant all summer. So we worked out our summer plans around me being an expecting mom. We planned a family vacation in June, and since I planned to get pregnant in March, I told everyone I would not be drinking on the trip, even though it was an all-inclusive resort. My husband and I both planned to abstain together. I even planned my Halloween costume as a giant pumpkin, since I figured I would be about 8 months pregnant at that point. And what do you know? I conceived almost exactly on the date I expected to. And I certainly am going to be pregnant for the summer. Now, I know I said that I wasn't really worried about anything going wrong in my pregnancy journey, but that's not to say I was completely worry-free. In fact, I did have to push back my original conception date just a little bit as I was coming off some medication that threw off my cycle. No matter what I did, it wouldn't seem to get back on track, and everyone around me, including my doctor, told me that I might have to wait a little while to try to get pregnant. But I didn't listen, and I just went on believing that my cycle would start up again soon, and I would be able to conceive immediately afterwards. So that's what happened. I pretty much knew right away when I got pregnant. I even started holding my belly like the little Delulu mom that I am. And I sang goofy little songs to myself about how I just knew that there was a baby in my belly already. Mind you, none of this was forced or fake. This was genuinely just how I felt in my heart. But it was no accident that I was able to feel this confident. My confidence journey started months before we even started trying to conceive. It started when I first decided that I wanted to get pregnant. My husband was already on board and just waiting for me to be ready. And with my manifestation business running securely and my health where I wanted it to be, I was ready. I started watching a bunch of baby videos on social media and getting really excited about the cute little outfits and the cute little newborn scrunch. I started researching how I wanted to give birth and decided on a natural water birth at a nearby facility. I even researched some reviews and took a virtual tour of the birthing center. And I started putting little baby clothes on my shopping wish list. because these were all things that I would do if I knew for sure that I was guaranteed to get pregnant in March as I planned. I let myself get excited and really feel like I was going to be a mom soon, and that becoming a mom would be easy for me. I kept that same excited, confident energy when my husband and I did start trying. In fact, I was so sure that our first attempt was successful that I started taking pregnancy tests almost immediately. Now, if you've ever tried to get pregnant, you probably know that it's not recommended to start taking tests right away because they will probably give you a false negative result. And I did end up taking about 5 negative tests in a row. And the tests were showing up negative even after my period was late, which by all accounts is a pretty bad sign for someone who is trying to conceive. But I did what I know works best, and that was to keep focusing on a reality that I wanted and to not give worry or attention to a reality that I didn't want. I kept looking at baby videos on social media and deciding that I was going to be a new mom very soon. I did let go and detached from the time a bit and decided that if, for some weird reason, I was not pregnant during this cycle, I most certainly would get pregnant next month. And I stayed diligent in my decision to not wander off into worry. If I noticed myself starting to get sad or anxious about getting pregnant, I purposefully refocused my attention on literally anything else. This helped me sustain my confidence enough to take another pregnancy test a few days later. And what do you know? It was positive. But to be very honest, some of the worries and the statistics did creep in, and I kind of doubted that the positive result was real. Well, it turns out that I had left the test out for too long before reading it, and the test was no longer valid. The positive line was super faint, and that can happen when you let a pregnancy test sit out for too long. It's called a waterline false positive. But refusing to give up hope, I immediately took another test and checked the result a few minutes later. And when I tell you the relief I felt when I saw that it was positive, it was such an amazing feeling. I immediately showed my husband my stick of pee and we celebrated the result together. I am 16 weeks along in my pregnancy today, and so far, being pregnant has been a bit of a roller coaster. For some reason, I thought that pregnancy was going to be so easy until the last couple of months. But the first trimester of my pregnancy was kind of a wreck. I felt super nauseous and tired and sad and even angry and hungry. Oh my God, I was hungry, which you can imagine is awesome when you're also always nauseous. But somehow I ate everything. I was coming off a weight loss journey to prepare for pregnancy, and my body was ready to gain it all back. To be honest, it was kind of nice to eat whatever I wanted whenever I wanted it. Except, of course, for things that you're not allowed to eat when you're pregnant. But besides that, nothing was off limits. In fact, I found that staying full helped me not feel so nauseous. And I would rather eat something than nothing at all. So I indulged in burgers and pizza and vegetarian sushi and pad thai and anything else I could get my hungry little hands on. Now that I'm in my second trimester, I'm happy to say that a lot of my cravings have subsided and I'm eating much healthier and more balanced foods. The nausea is almost completely gone and very manageable. And I have a ton more energy and I can actually function in my daily life. All my scans and blood work have come back perfectly. And my husband and I are expecting a very healthy, happy baby on Christmas Day. Yes, my due date is December 25th. But I promise you, that baby will not be born on Christmas. I'm manifesting that my baby has a day all of their own. So, to summarize so far, the things that really helped me get pregnant so quickly and easily were planning for conception, preparing to become a mom, excitedly scrolling through social media for baby videos, and not worrying about infertility. As a professional manifestation coach, I am confident that if you can do these 4 things, you too will get pregnant quickly and easily, no matter the odds that may be against you. So if you're just starting your conception journey, it should be pretty easy for you to do these things since you haven't had a lot of contradicting thoughts or experiences to counteract your fresh sense of excitement and possibility. But what if you do struggle to do these things authentically? What if you started your conception journey a while ago and you've spent plenty of time already worrying about fertility and feeling jealous of other moms and dwelling on scary statistics and doubting that this can ever happen for you? What if you've already had several rounds of IVF and looked into adoption or surrogacy as a last resort? What if the thought of having a child only brings up feelings of longing and desperation and despair? If this is the boat that you are in now, my heart goes out to you. I know this is not an easy place to be, but it's not a permanent place to be either. It just takes some extra steps to get out of. Now, these are just my recommendations, and I am certainly not a doctor, nor am I here to tell anyone else what to do with their lives. But if you want my opinion, I suggest putting a pause on trying to conceive for now. Take some time to really feel your emotions. There's probably a lot of hurt feelings that you may be trying to push away. But I'm here to tell you that shoving your feelings down and pretending they don't exist doesn't help. And pretending to be optimistic when in your heart you feel that all hope is lost will only make getting pregnant more difficult. Let yourself feel sad. Let yourself grieve the time and effort you've put into this process so far. Be honest with your feelings, whether you're talking to your partner or your journal or your therapist. You can write a letter of loss and love and longing to the missed opportunities you've experienced so far. Be honest with how this has impacted you, your daily life, and your hopes for the future. Purge yourself of these negative experiences by bravely acknowledging their existence. But also, be sure to have fallback systems for support while you do this. Even if you're taking time to grieve, you can still make time for self-care, relaxation, and even some fun while you're expressing your true inner feelings. If you do this openly and without restraint, it might not take more than a few days or weeks for you to work through these painful feelings and get them out of your system. Then you're ready to rebuild and move on to the next step. In my experience, what this feels like is it feels like you getting sick and physically tired of expressing your negative emotions. And you feel genuinely ready to experience something more positive. Not because you need to escape your negative emotions, but because you have expressed them so fully that you no longer feel the need to repeat them anymore. When you feel this, you know you're ready to start your conception journey again with a clean slate. From here, you'll start implementing the strategies I mentioned earlier for a fresh state of mind. Start planning when you would like to conceive your child. What does that timeline look like? Choose a date that seems exciting yet believable. Start imagining what it would be like to be pregnant during the months you've selected. What accommodations might you make? What maternity clothes might you wear given the weather? Start preparing physically for your conception. This may mean taking prenatals, having a fitness and diet regimen, and researching doctors and birthing methods. If it feels good, you can start scrolling through videos of babies and pregnant moms on social media. This should feel exciting, and you should feel happy for them, knowing that this will be your reality soon too. But be honest with yourself if doing this makes you feel more sad or jealous than excited. If so, this is not a good strategy for you at this time. You can try again later when you have another mindset shift. And don't worry. One of the best things you can do for yourself when trying to manifest anything is to not worry about it. Only think about your manifestation when it feels good to think about it. If it starts to feel bad when you think about it, notice how you feel and think about literally anything else. Don't try to fight your negative feelings. Simply divert your attention elsewhere. Another strategy, if you start to feel negative in relation to pregnancy, is to get curious about why you feel that way. Do you still have limiting beliefs or old wounds left to heal? If so, give yourself the space and tools to do so. There's no need to rush this before you've healed. Finally, I recommend practicing compassion when difficult feelings arise. Remind yourself that it's understandable that you might feel this way. Let yourself vent a healthy amount and be present with those feelings. This allows you to process them and feel heard rather than stuffing them down and compacting them further. Negative feelings are often an invitation to let yourself be heard and receive love and support in return. This support should always be given by self, but may also come from friends, family, and wellness professionals whose support helps you feel validated. Once you've gotten in touch with those negative feelings and expressed them thoroughly in a supportive environment, you may also do some self-healing work. This can include healthy movement, breath work, and reframing negative beliefs in a way that supports your pregnancy goals. This takes diligence, practice, and patience to achieve for most people. And that's perfectly okay. You are so worth it. Now, I go much more in depth about how to deal with negative thoughts and feelings with my coaching clients and in several of my courses. You can check out some helpful options linked in the description below. One final bonus tip that helped me was receiving fertility acupuncture. If you have access to safe, experienced acupuncture near you, I highly recommend checking out this option as well. I hope this video was very helpful for you, and if you're trying to conceive, I'm sending you so many good wishes, and I'm very excited for your soon-to-be success. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe for more valuable manifestation content. I'm Coach Katie with Manifest Best, and happy manifesting!